Karen reported my private ranch officers arrested her for filing a false emergency report. The sun was barely up when my phone buzzed with a call from the county sheriff's office. A woman's voice, shrill and demanding, had reported my ranch for illegal activity, something about suspicious noises and shady characters lurking on my property. My heart sank. My ranch, a quiet haven I'd built over years of sweat and sacrifice, was now under scrutiny because of a stranger's complaint. I threw on my boots, grabbed my hat, and drove out to meet the officers, my stomach churning with dread. The ranch was my sanctuary, a sprawling 50 acres of rolling hills, horse stables, and a small orchard I'd planted with my late father. It was private, tucked away from the main road, and I liked it that way. But as I pulled up, I saw her Karen. She stood by the gate, arms crossed, her fur coat gleaming in the morning light, sunglasses perched on her nose despite the dawn haze. She looked like she'd stepped out a country club, not a dirt road. Her smirk screamed entitlement, and the way she waved her manicured hand at the arriving police cruiser told me she thought she owned the place. The officers, a veteran named Officer Daniels and a younger deputy, approached me first. Karen had called 911, claiming my ranch was a front for illegal operations drugs, she insisted, based on strange lights she'd seen from the road. I explained that the lights were from my solar-powered barn lamps, and the only shady characters were my rescue horses grazing at night. Daniels nodded, jotting notes, but Karen wasn't having it. She stormed over, her heels sinking into the mud, and jabbed a finger at me. "This man is hiding something," she snapped. "I know what I saw, and I demand you search this place." I clenched my fists, trying to stay calm. Karen wasn't a neighbor she'd driven from the city a good 20 miles away after spotting my ranch on a real estate listing. She'd been hounding me for weeks to sell, claiming my rustic dump was bringing down property values for her nearby vacation home. I'd refused every offer, politely at first, then firmly. Now, it seemed, she'd escalated to sabotage. As the officers walked the property, finding nothing but hay bales and horse tack, Karen's story began to fray. She grew louder, insisting they check the barn again, her voice dripping with condescension. That's when the twist came. My farmhand, Miguel, a quiet man who'd worked for me for years, stepped forward. He'd been in the loft, unnoticed, and overheard Karen on her phone earlier that morning. She was talking to someone about making sure the ranch gets shut down, Miguel said, his voice steady but firm. She said she'd do whatever it takes to force a sale. The officers turned to Karen, whose face paled beneath her makeup. Daniels asked her to explain. She stammered, claiming Miguel was lying, but her confidence was cracking. Then Miguel pulled out his phone. He'd recorded her conversation, not intentionally, just a habit from documenting livestock sounds for our vet. The audio was clear, Karen's voice, plotting to fabricate a crisis to get my land condemned. The officers exchanged a glance. This wasn't just a nuisance call anymore. The confrontation exploded. Karen shrieked that she was being set up, that a lowly farmhand couldn't possibly have evidence against her. She pointed at me, at Miguel, at the officers, her voice rising to a pitch that spooked the horses. But Daniels wasn't swayed. He asked Karen to hand over her phone, and when she refused, he radioed for backup. The younger deputy, meanwhile, noticed something odd near the barn: a can of red spray paint, still wet, with Karen's initials scrawled on the label. She'd been caught red-handed, literally, after defacing my property to bolster her dangerous narrative. Karen's defiance crumbled as the evidence piled up. The officers cuffed her, reading her rights as she sputtered about her connections and how we'd all regret this. I watched, a mix of fury and relief washing over me, as they led her to the cruiser. She thought her wealth and status made her untouchable, but her lies had unraveled in the dust of my ranch. The barn, now marred with her sloppy graffiti, stood as a testament to her desperation and her downfall. As the cruiser pulled away, Miguel clapped a hand on my shoulder. "She didn't know who she was messing with," he said with a grin. I nodded, grateful for his loyalty and quick thinking. The officers apologized for the trouble, promising to file charges for the false report and vandalism. My ranch was safe, at least for now, but the ordeal left a bitter taste. Karen's actions weren't just about my land, they were about power, about bending the world to her will, no matter who got hurt. In the days that followed, word spread through the small town. Neighbors dropped by with casseroles and stories of their own run-ins with Karen's arrogance. I learned she tried similar stunts before, bullying others into selling their properties. But this time, she'd picked the wrong fight. The community rallied around me, offering to help repaint the barn and reinforce the fences. It was a reminder that no amount of money or status could outshine the strength of honest people standing together. Karen's arrest wasn't just a victory for me, it was a wake-up call for anyone who thinks they can steamroll others without consequence. Her lies, her vandalism, her sheer audacity had backfired, leaving her to face the legal and social fallout. As I walked the ranch that evening, the sun setting over the hills, I felt a renewed sense of purpose. This land was more than property. It was a legacy, one I'd protect no matter what. What do you think, was Karen's downfall justice served, or should there be room for redemption? Share your thoughts on where the line lies between accountability and forgiveness.